Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allegra Lorraine, and today we're going to be going over the new 52 Aquaman. I was looking through different Aquaman issues over the years, and this was the one that I was least familiar with, because when it comes to the new 52, I was more focused on the Flash. And since we do have a new Aquaman movie coming out next week, I thought it'd be fun for us to go over some Aquaman issues together. First, I just want to say, I never thought Aquaman was a joke. I know. I'm probably one of the few people that thought that. But I was always like, why are they always joking on this guy? What's so funny about him? Even as a kid, when I'd see him being played up as a joke on a show, I'd be like, what's so funny about him? And why can't they do this with any of the other characters? They were jokes at some point in time. At some point in time, Batman was hilarious, Aquaman was hilarious, and definitely Wonder Woman. She was quite funny as well. But anyways, Aquaman was written by Geoff Johns. A lot of the illustration work was done by Ivan Reis, Joe Prado, and Rod Reis. And the artwork in this is amazing. The people that worked on this book, like all the editors, the colorists, the inkers, everybody who worked on this book, it's just beautiful. I love the artwork and how it looks. But anyways, let's get started. We open up the scene to see creatures emerging, heading towards the surface in search for food. We don't know what these creatures are, where they come from, or if they have any higher form of thinking. Meanwhile, when we get to the surface, we see a robbery chase going on, and poosh, in comes Aquaman. I feel like people forget just how fast and strong Aquaman is, and Geoff Johns does a really good job at acknowledging just how unseriously people take him. When Aquaman comes into the scene, you can tell everybody is just like, Aquaman, really? What is he gonna do? You've got to be kidding me. I personally wouldn't underestimate anyone on the Justice League, but that's just me. Anyways, Aquaman does this cool thing with his trident, like sticks it in the truck, and he tosses the truck over. He just lifts the truck over and like slams it down on the ground like it's nothing. Do you know how heavy a truck is? You know, people die when they get hit with those. And he just, boom, tosses it over to the side. This is a little quick side note, going just a little bit off here. I wonder what he was doing before that led him to stopping the robbery, that he had to be in his whole Aquaman outfit. Like, what were you doing? Where are you going that you were completely dressed as Aquaman? But anyways, I digress. So as he walks towards the truck, they start shooting at him. Like guns are blazing, and Aquaman's just blocking it with his trident, and then he just picks the guy up and throws him into the police car. I was like, oh my god, oh, that hurts so bad. He just got thrown into a police car, glasses all broken and stuff on his back, like now he gotta go to jail with like a messed up back. And this just shows Aquaman is not playing any games with anybody. Like, this is serious. He is not one to joke around with. When it's all said and done, a cop walks over to Aquaman. Well, cops are like, hey, thanks, Aquaman. Thank you, Aquaman. And a cop walks over and he's just like, hey, do you need a glass of water? I thought that was hilarious. But Aquaman's pretty nice about it. He's just like, no. He just like looks at him like, really? You're gonna offer me a glass of water? Really? But he's just like, no. And then he jumps off. He's out of there. We next see Aquaman going to this Sam's seafood restaurant, and everyone is just shocked when he just walks into the room. Like, because what else do you do when a superhero enters the room? You can't just sit there and not notice. But I did realize that it's not the same reaction that you would get as if like Superman or Wonder Woman walks into the room and everybody wants a selfie and people are like, hold my baby. No, people are just like, is that Aquaman? I can't believe he's here. What is he doing at a fish restaurant? He eats fish. Oh my god. And that's why I really like these panels, because it provides an opportunity to squash any misconceptions about Aquaman, and it gives readers a glimpse into his personality, and it also shows how he feels about the viewpoints of him. So he orders fish and chips, and people are shocked. They're like, I can't believe he's eating this. He eats fish? But come on, why wouldn't he eat fish? Like, living beings tend to eat what's available in their surroundings in order to survive. So yes, he eats fish. While he's at the restaurant, he's just trying to have a peaceful lunch. This guy comes up and just starts asking him all these questions. He's kind of rude about it actually, but I guess it serves its point. First he's like, hey man, you can't eat fish. That's not right. And Aquaman's like, why not? I eat fish. And he's like, you talk to fish, don't you? And Aquaman turns around like, man, I don't talk to fish. Well, he doesn't say it that rudely. He's just like, I don't talk to fish. It's like a telekinetic thing where I can make them do what I want them to do. And the guy just inserts himself into Aquaman's booth and start asking him all these questions, unwanted questions. And Aquaman's so nice about it. He's like, hey man, I'm really just trying to eat lunch. But Aquaman still answers the questions anyway, which gives us a lot about his personality. We start learning bits and pieces about Aquaman just as an introduction to him. We get to know things like, hey, where he gets his money from. The guy asks him, how are you paying for stuff? And he's like, I get by. And we find out that Aquaman has a treasure chest, a whole treasure chest full of gold. If I had a treasure chest full of gold, you wouldn't be able to tell me anything. I'd be flipping trucks and throwing people into cop cars all day. And I'd be like, just throwing gold at them, like boom, sprinkling it on them like salt. But also, we get to see a lot about how Aquaman feels about these questions being asked. You can tell he's a bit uncomfortable. He's starting to get annoyed. And the guy just keeps asking questions anyway. And every time Aquaman is just like, I'm just trying to eat lunch. I'm just trying to eat lunch. Meanwhile, I would have asked, do you have any pockets? I know that's random, but I would have been like, hey, got any pockets? I secretly look for a zipper, but I would do it in a way that wouldn't be rude. But I'd probably be asking some pretty uncomfortable questions anyway if I had the guts to just walk up over there and talk to Aquaman like that. Also, I feel like Aquaman would react how anybody would react in this situation. So it kind of makes him more relatable. Like, I was getting annoyed. Which is why I kind of wish this was like a little kid asking these questions. I wouldn't be as annoyed. But I feel like an adult asking these questions, like, come on. People really are ignorant, I feel like, in real life like that. So it really is relatable to hearing today. Finally, the guy asks the most rudest question ever. He's like, how does it feel to be nobody's favorite hero? And with that, Aquaman just like, he's had it. He's had enough. He just stands up, he leaves some money for the waitress, and he goes. He goes without taking his plate. I would have took my plate. I'm throwing down gold coins. I would have took the plate, and you wouldn't be able to tell me anything. Yeah, he just walks out. And I would have too. Like, come on. How can you be so rude to somebody, right? So we switch back over to Amnesty Bay. Now, every superhero has a place they can go back to, whether it's the Fortress of Solitude or the Batcave. Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, has Amnesty Bay, a point between two worlds that reminds Arthur that he is of land and of sea. And this is always a constant conflict for him. No matter what era it is, we always see him at a constant battle between him as Aquaman, King of Atlantis, and him as Arthur Curry, born on land, part of the surface world. And that's exactly what we see here. We see Mera and Aquaman talking together. Aquaman brings up a decision he's made about where he wants to be in life. He tells her he doesn't really feel like he belongs as the leader of Atlantis when the people still see him as an outsider. He's always fighting to show people he has a right to be king. And he tells Mera he's not going back. He wants to stay on land with her. I feel like Mera would have a huge conflict with this. They show them embrace in a passionate kiss with like water splashing everywhere. But I feel like in real life, Mera would really sit down and have like a huge discussion with him about this. Because whereas Aquaman sees obligation to be a leader to Atlantis because of his lineage, Mera, she was born there. I feel like her heart's more into it than his is. I feel like that's all she knows. Like she puts her life into protecting like Aquaman and Atlantis. I feel like Mera would just have a hard time with just getting up and leaving and staying away from Atlantis altogether. Meanwhile, back in the midst of the deep blue seas, we see these fishermen hanging out. And I know right away that somebody's going to die. Water's acting crazy. They're calmly fishing at night. Of course somebody's gonna die. And lo and behold, a fisherman is pulled out of the boat. He's dead, blood red. And in these blood red waters, you see the creatures emerge to the surface and search for more food. And that's it. That's how they end the story. Of course they had to end it on the cliffhanger. You guys, I'm really excited about the new 52 Aquaman. I'm excited about the movie coming out next week. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Leave a like and a comment down below. Bye.